Part 18. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 171. At this moment, the face of the cursed god kept changing, and finally turned into a strange but extremely beautiful appearance, which was even more stunning than the unparalleled eternal empress such as Nan Yi. This appearance has surpassed the cognition of living beings, as if it should not appear in the world. Haha, what a familiar face. Li Bai stared at the face of the cursed god and said slowly. Li Bai, take your life. The cursed god seemed to have lost his mind and attacked Li Bai directly. But the next moment, he was easily suppressed by Li Bai, and a big hand directly held the entire body of the cursed god. Li Bai, get out of here, don't touch me, let me go, I will kill you. The cursed god couldn't break free from this big hand, so he could only scold him constantly. Can you be quiet? Li Bai frowned and started to clench his big hands hard. Phew! A mouthful of blood spurted out. At this moment, the cursed god had also calmed down. Her huge eyes were filled with fear. She was just a heart of her own body and could not beat Li Bai. Li Bai, what do you want to do? I have been suppressed by you, why are you still unwilling to let me go? The cursed god said slowly. You now have two options. Separate Xiao Sui's soul independently. Or, I can use brute force to tear out Shui Yi's soul, but you may not be able to bear this kind of pain. Of course, just be patient for a while and you'll be fine soon. Li Bai ignored the words of cursing God and said to himself. Li Bai, just go ahead and dream. If we are really separated, my strength will be greatly reduced. You should give up. The curse god said harshly, if Shui Yi's soul is really separated, revenge will never be avenged. Oh, then we can only use the second method. Li Bai said lightly. Li Bai, how dare you? Believe it or not, I don't want this heart anymore. At worst, we will both die. I only lose a heart, but your apprentice will disappear forever. The cursed god said fiercely. Are you threatening me? Li Bai was stunned for a moment and said slowly. Humph, you can think so. Sorry, your threats are of no use to me, come on, start your show. Afterwards, Li Bai let go of the curse god with his hands in his hands and prepared to watch her performance quietly. Li Bai, you really have no heart, this is your cutest little apprentice. The cursed god was confused, why didn't he play his cards according to the routine? It doesn't matter, anyway, I still have a trace of Shui Yi's soul, and I can resurrect it at any time. Come on, blow yourself up, I won't stop you. Li Bai is becoming more and more aggressive. You. What, you're not coming, then I'm here to help you. After finishing speaking, Li Bai slowly walked to the curse god and said slowly. Don't think that I can't kill you just because I suppress you. If it weren't for your sister's sake, you would have died long ago. You still remember what your sister said, right? Hearing this, the curse god fell silent. Indeed, if it weren't for her sister, she might have been killed by Li Bai when she attacked the immortal realm. After all, I can never escape the protection of my sister. After hearing this sentence, the eyes of the other emperors were filled with doubts. Sister? Curse God for having a sister. Damn, this, cursed God, can't be a family. If that's the case, it's simply too terrifying. I can't imagine how terrifying their ancestors were. Haha, I originally thought that if I stepped into the mythology, I would be able to understand everything in the world. But now it seems that I am still like an ant and can only peep into a corner of the world. Human Emperor Xuanhuan shook his head and said with a bitter smile, in the eyes of others, the mythical emperor may be the god who dominates the fairyland, but in the class of beings like the cursed god, it is just the beginning. So, you'd better cherish this opportunity. Li Bai said lightly. After a long time. The cursed god slowly said. Okay, Li Bai, I promise you, I will separate her soul right now. After finishing speaking, a ray of light flashed on the cursed god, and suddenly, Shui Yi's figure slowly appeared in front of everyone. Seeing this, Nanyi and Xuanhuan quickly took over Shui Yi, but at this moment, Shui Yi was falling into a deep sleep. Master, Xiao Sui is fine, she just fell into a deep sleep. Nanyi said slowly. Li Bai nodded. Shui Yi at this moment is the real Shui Yi. Without the influence of the cursed god, she has inherited everything from the cursed god, but she is different from the cursed god. Okay, Li Bai, you can take action. The curse god said indifferently that after separating Shui Yi's soul, the curse god seemed to have changed his nature. After all, he had been affected by Shui Yi's soul before. In response, Li Bai shook his head. You won't kill me. The cursed god said doubtfully. I promised your sister that the most I would do is suppress you. Haha, I didn't expect that Li Bai, who once slaughtered all realms, would one day abide by his agreement. This doesn't fit your personality. The cursed god said mockingly. As a little girl in the middle of the Taibei era, she had witnessed Li Bai kill all the worlds and repel the darkness by himself. Although he did not know why he stopped, but that white figure, and since then the seeds of fear have been planted in her heart. Time will change everything, and I am no exception. Li Bai said lightly. Besides, I am also responsible for your sister's death. That's enough, Li Bai, stop being so hypocritical. I really don't know what kind of ecstasy you poured into my sister to make the saint of the cursed temple so obsessed with you, and, she still likes you until her death. The cursed god Jiao shouted. Curse the temple? Old man nothingness, do you know what that is? De Wang said doubtfully. How did I know that? I am just a little mythical emperor, and I haven't even finished exploring the fairyland. The Emperor of Nothingness said slowly. Ahem, shouldn't you be paying attention to the story between the adult and the so-called saint? I want you to talk more. Nanyi glared at Emperor Cao, he was the only one who was smart, but the only one who talked nonsense. You want to know how your parents died? Li Bai said slowly after thinking for a long time. After hearing the long-lost words parents, two figures slowly appeared in the mind of the cursed god. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 172. What do you mean? Didn't they die in battle to protect the cursed temple? The cursed god suddenly became extremely excited and even a little incoherent. She felt that she might understand a truth that would subvert her. Haha, this is why your sister can be a saint, but you can't, because, you have no brain. Li Bai said speechlessly, she couldn't understand, they were both born to the same mother, how could there be such a big gap in wisdom? Her sister had insight into all things and was smart, but she was cursing the gods. Well, let's not talk about it. In short, she has no brains. Li Bai, you have a big chest and no brains. Please tell me quickly how my parents died. Have you misunderstood? Not only do you have no brains, you also don't have big breasts. Li Bai said in astonishment, this woman really knows how to put gold on her face. I don't want to scold you, please hurry up, Li Bai, please give me the truth. The cursed god said impatiently, as if he was begging for something. The emperors listened to this conversation with doubts on their faces. Why did they feel that something was wrong? You still remember that you cursed the great elder of the temple, right? Li Bai said slowly. Of course I remember. I have always called him uncle, but I never knew his specific name. Your great elder is actually an originator. Li Bai glanced at the curse god and said lightly. The originator, impossible, you are definitely lying to me. My uncle watched me grow up, how could he be the originator? Li Bai, You think I'm stupid and easy to deceive, right? There are 10,000 people who don't believe in the god of curses. Watching their uncle grow up, he can be an originator. This is simply a big joke. How could an originator succumb to a small cursed temple? The originator can be said to be the original one of the entire Teishu era, and the creatures behind him are called creators, explorers, and forerunners in turn. They all have the same name, Teishu creatures. Everyone knows that it was created in the primordial era due to the appearance of a ray of light that broke through the eternal darkness, but where this ray of light came from has always been a mystery. But others don't know. How could creatures like Li Bai and the cursed god not know? Of course not the complete originator, just one in a billion. And your parents died in the Battle of Origin, and the murderer was your uncle. Li Bai once again dropped shocking news. However, these words can only be understood by the god of curse. Even the old man of original sin looked confused when he heard about the originator and the battle between the origins. At first, when the curse god heard the sentence, he shook his head crazily, and even if he beat her to death, he would not believe it until he saw the look in Li Bai's eyes. How do you know? You are not that kind of creature, are you? After the cursed god digested it for a long time, he asked cautiously. I said, I don't know why this memory appears in my mind. Do you believe it? Li Bai said slowly, since he woke up from reincarnation in this life, he often has inexplicable images or information that he has never experienced before. This made Li Bai feel that his previous blank memory was probably sealed by some kind of creature. Later, as he awakened from reincarnations, this seal gradually weakened. As a result, some images and information were circulated. In other words, these were probably things he had personally experienced, but he just didn't know it. Therefore, Li Bai became more and more curious about how terrifying the power of a creature that could seal his own memory would be. At least not even the ancient source of darkness had this ability. Relying on this, Li Bai firmly believed that the Teishu era was definitely not that simple. There was probably an era before it. It's just that there are living beings who want to hide all this, and the answer he has been looking for, or his wife, may be buried under the truth. I believe. Oh, why? Li Bai asked, slightly surprised. Unexpectedly, the cursed god would be so firm in his words. You must know that the words spoken by creatures like them are the most unbelievable, because they are filled with countless lies and traps. Whoever believes it is a fool. Because, my father said that even my grandfather can't see through you. So, I believe what you say. After all, you don't even know who you are, do you? The cursed god looked at Li Bai and asked. Ha ha ha, interesting. The old man is really discerning about people. It's just a pity that he is no match for those creatures after all. However, you are indeed right about this sentence. I don't even know what kind of existence I am. I exist in the past and in the future. So much so that I was confused for an era. Li Bai said slowly. So, Li Bai, can you answer the question that I have been wondering about for countless years? The god of curse said calmly, in the final analysis, there was no blood feud between her and Li Bai, it was just that she could not let go of her sister and her failure to Li Bai. What is the problem? Then, why did you kill her with your own hands? The cursed god said with great anxiety that she knew that this question was a taboo for Li Bai, and Li Bai was a taboo for the heavens. One can imagine how terrifying this taboo buried in Li Bai's heart was. But even if she knew it was death, she still had to ask. Boom. After hearing these words, the smile on Li Bai's face disappeared instantly, and an invisible momentum suddenly broke out. In a 10,000th of a second, countless creatures felt that they had stepped into the abyss of death. Even the Emperor of Nothingness and the Old Man of Original Sin were the same. They simply could not understand and could not stop this primitive and ancient power. At this moment, the emperors knew what kind of terrifying situation Li Bai would be in if he was really angry. Even this extremely weak power could not be stopped by them. If Li Bai was like this in the Battle of Emperor Luo back then, what else would they have to do? One person could destroy the immortal realm. Do you know what you are talking about? Do you really think that I dare not kill you? Li Bai pinched the cursed god's neck, his eyes were full of indifference to everything. This kind of look was not what living beings should have, as if the creator was staring at everything he created. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 173. At this moment, Li Bai's momentum changed drastically. He was no longer the peaceful Li Bai before, as if this was Li Bai's true face. And this aura penetrated all the worlds and darkness, reaching every area. Countless creatures who had a grudge against Li Bai instantly changed their expressions after feeling this aura, and were filled with monstrous rage. Li Bai, have you finally recovered? We have been waiting for you for a long time. I almost forgot about it. The god of curse has no fear, but his eyes are full of memories. This is the Li Bai who slaughtered all realms. This is the Li Bai in her memory. It doesn't matter, my end is already determined anyway. At worst, I will follow in the footsteps of my parents and sister, but what about you? The cursed god said with a red face. After hearing these words, Li Bai instantly returned to his previous appearance, and a trace of ridicule appeared on his face. This was his ridicule to himself. Unexpectedly, he who has traveled through the ages and traveled a long way will one day lose control of his heart because of one person. It is really rare. Nanyi and others also stared at each other. This was the first time they had seen ridicule, and guilt appeared on Li Bai's face, as if Li Bai himself had denied all his previous experiences. This is not something you should ask, and I won't tell you anything. 4. If you ask me one more question, I will kill you even if your sister begs before she is alive. Li Bai said indifferently. I get it, I'm sorry. The god of curse lowered her head like a little girl who made a mistake. She knew that she was very rude, but she couldn't help but test everything about Li Bai. She didn't know why. Okay, I've said everything I need to say, you can go. Li Bai let go of his big hand and said impatiently to the curse god. You won't kill me. The cursed god's eyes widened and he said doubtfully. No need, you are not much of a threat to me. You, really let me go. The god of curse clenched his silver teeth and said slowly, this Li Bai was still as annoying as ever when he spoke. He still liked the Li Bai who was indifferent to all things and regarded everything as trivial. What, you want to accompany me? Li Bai said slowly with a smile on his lips. Go away, Li Bai, just wait, the relationship between us is not over, I will definitely come back, I will destroy the immortal realm. Okay, I'll wait for you. I want to see what kind of waves your little girl's film can create. I hope you won't insult the words curse the temple. Li Bai, wait for me. The god of curses gouged out Li Bai, and after finishing speaking in an incompetent rage, she disappeared directly into the deep space universe. No one knows where she went. On the other side, in the small world, the Tiandao trio heard the conversation between the two people clearly. Ahem, what the hell is this originator and the Battle of Origins? Why have I never heard of it? The son of Karma asked extremely curiously. Humph, I knew this big pervert wasn't that simple. Tiandao curled his lips and said slowly. It seems that the Taishu era is not as simple as we thought. After all, from the Chaos era to the present, all the eras combined are not as long as the middle period of the Taishu era. You can probably tell from the conversation just now that most of the primitive creatures we know now were born at the end of the primitive era. As for the longer time ago, it is unimaginable, and the originator mentioned by Li Bai was probably born in that period. Wisps of light kept flashing in the eyes of the girl of destiny. What is Li Bai's identity? Why do I feel like I can't see through him more and more? Do you think it's possible that Li Bai is also the originator? The son of Karma said slowly. If this is really the case, there is no way we could have defeated him in the battle of Emperor Luo back then. Tiandao tilted his head and said slowly. Maybe, there are some restrictions. Look at the 3 original Sin old men. Didn't Li Bai not kill them, but just imprison them for countless epochs? Maybe, this answer will probably only emerge one day in the future. Of course, none of this is the most important thing. What I care more about is what the cursed god just said. Tiandao's eyes were filled with a strong emotion of eating melons. Now he was extremely curious about everything about Li Bai. He was so curious that it felt like there was a cat's claw in his heart that kept scratching him. Hey, Tiandao, don't set yourself on fire. It's not like you. You didn't feel the terror of the power just now. The son of Karma hurriedly spoke, fearing that heaven would seek his own death and anger Li Bai. I'm so brainless. I'm just curious. Who can make Li Bai almost lose his temper? Maybe it's someone very important to him, but he has to kill him. The girl of destiny showed disappointment on her face. She had a strong intuition that this person was definitely a girl. On the other side, countless creatures from the immortal realm were constantly breathing in the air. Veins on each creature's neck popped out and their faces turned red. Damn, I almost choked to death. I felt so grandma seeing me. And some creatures thought this was normal. After all, it was a taboo in the fairyland, and then they focused on the words originator and origin war, expressing great doubts, and then looked at the old man Chang Sheng. Hey, why are you looking at me? Don't you think that I know? The old man Chang Sheng said in shock with his eyes wide open. Ahem, no, I'm just used to it. Then, Li Bai, standing in the deep space, waved his hand at the emperors and the entire fairyland. Some things are better not to know, otherwise it will break a certain balance. Li Bai said slowly. A layer of glory fell to every corner of the fairyland, and instantly the originator and the origin war, as well as everything the cursed god said just now, disappeared forever in their minds. Of course, they would not notice anything. In other words, if Li Bai wanted, he could change all the history of the fairyland. At this moment, all the creatures knew that the Ye family was destroyed and the cursed god was finally let go by Li Bai. After doing all this, Li Bai's figure slowly disappeared into the deep space, leaving only a sigh. Huh, it's over. I really didn't expect that Xuai's true identity was the heart of the cursed god. Yes, this is indeed beyond our expectations. If it weren't for the timely appearance of the adults, we wouldn't know how to resist. By the way, where is the adults? I don't know, maybe he has disappeared. After all, the whereabouts of the adults have always been unpredictable. Well, now that the Ye family has been destroyed, Xuai's situation should also be stable. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 174. However, before the Emperor of Nothingness could finish speaking, an extremely rich mythical aura came. Not only that, but also a trace of the power of time, which constantly restricted the flow of time in the deep space universe. A man covered in fairy light tore apart the space, came through chaos, and slowly appeared in front of everyone, as if he had traveled through time from eternity ago, and his whole body exuded an aura that did not belong to this era. When countless creatures saw his face clearly, their jaws almost dropped. This person was none other than Wu Feng. To be precise, he should be the awakened mythical emperor, the emperor of time, who is also known as the first sword emperor in all time. On this avenue of swordsmanship, he is unparalleled for eternity, making many sword emperors look beyond him. I must be dreaming, yes, yes, dreaming. One by one, the creatures kept fanning their cheeks, trying to wake themselves up from this absurd dream. After all, when a mythical emperor who had long since fallen suddenly appeared in front of him, his first reaction was that he must be dreaming. What's going on? Why haven't I woke up yet? Come on, slap me. You better slap me to death. This is what you said, I've been waiting for a long time. If you slap him, you can't slap me. The mythical emperor, Wu Feng, how could he be a mythical emperor? First the body of disaster suddenly became a half-step myth, and now Wu Feng has become a real mythical emperor. Is the current mythical emperor so worthless? Damn it, these two young men. At this moment, the Emperor of Time has fully awakened and carries the memory of everything before. All of this was slowly awakened after the God of Curse appeared. He will never forget the smell that disgusted him, and his wife who died in the great catastrophe of the era. Time Emperor, I didn't expect that you actually deceived all living beings, even the heavens were deceived. Emperor Wu looked at Empress Shi and said slowly. Huh? The aura on your body, you are, the second generation of nothingness, why are you here? If you don't take charge of the destiny of the fairyland, what are you doing here? Shi Di asked curiously. Yes, I almost forgot. You died relatively early and didn't experience that imperial war. Emperor Shi, are you polite? The Emperor of Nothingness scratched his head and said, and then slowly said some more secretive things to the Emperor of Time. Of course he said it in his mind. Are you sure what you said is true? Shi was extremely shocked and said that he and Qing Emperor, the first generation double-eyed emperor, were both chaotic creatures of the same period. Naturally, they knew how powerful Li Bai was, but he didn't expect it to happen so suddenly. Of course, I have no reason to lie to you. That would do me no good. Besides, the entire immortal realm knows that the Dark Valley was destroyed by my best friend some time ago. The Dark Valley was destroyed? Sir, did you get that ray of light? After thinking for a long time, Emperor Shi said quietly. The Emperor of Time is referring to the light of the beginning. The Emperor of Nothingness said curiously. Yes, this ray of light has been in my heart for a long time. After all, it is a bargaining chip to deal with the darkness. However, in our era of chaos, there is no ray of light. The Emperor of Time said with disappointment as he recalled that era. The Emperor of Time guessed it right, my best friend did use that ray of light, to kill a source of darkness. I see. No wonder, after I woke up, I felt that that place was about to move. It's a pity. The source of darkness in the Dark Valley is the weakest among them. Haha, think about it, they are so precious about their lives. How can a living being step out of the darkness so casually? Emperor Shi shook his head and said, his words full of mockery of the darkness. Okay, let's not talk about this first, about the curse. At this moment, the Emperor of Time caught a glimpse of Xiao Sui in Nanyi's arms. In an instant, an unparalleled terrifying pressure swept across the entire deep space universe. Even the two mythical emperors, Xuanhuan Human Emperor and the Great Emperor of Nothingness, also feeling extremely suffocated. This breath, that's right, I won't remember it wrong, it's the cursed god, which woman it is, it's definitely her. Emperor Shi's hands began to tremble unconsciously. After saying this, he was just about to draw his sword and attack Shui Yi. Seeing this scene, De Wang, Nanyi, Emperor Xuanhuan and the other emperors were almost frightened, and quickly blocked Shui Yi. In front of me. Fortunately, the Emperor of Nothingness stopped all this in time. Damn it, Emperor Shi, you must not do that. She is the disciple of a close friend. If Shui Yi is gone, the entire immortal realm will probably be gone too. After hearing these words, Emperor Shi's hand froze in mid-air, with nowhere to put it. After a long time, he asked. What happened? Immediately, Xuanhuan informed the Emperor of Time verbatim about the previous events. Ahem, it was almost, why didn't you tell me earlier? Emperor Shi asked reproachfully. After hearing this, he felt scared in his heart. He was almost, just a little bit close, and he was going to see Tai Nai. You didn't even ask me or give me a chance. The Emperor of Nothingness said aggrievedly, besides, who would come up and kill someone indiscriminately with a sword? I see. From this point of view, Sui is an independent soul, not a cursed god. What a pity, I really want to see her again. Emperor Shi's words were full of hatred, but he also knew in his heart that he could not defeat an primordial creature. By the way, Emperor Shi, do you know the two terms originator and origin war? Emperor Void asked slowly on the side. Originator, origin war. Such unfamiliar terms, even though I am a chaotic creature, I have never heard of them. Emperor Shi shook his head and said. Oh, so that's it? Emperor Void said disappointedly. Although he wanted to know, he didn't dare to ask Li Bai directly. If he did something like the curse god just now, he wouldn't be able to hold on. Okay, let's not talk about this for now. I have to go into seclusion first and integrate into this era. Otherwise, it will be difficult to move forward. We respectfully send off Emperor Shi. After saying that, Emperor Shi left here with regret. And the other emperors, after Emperor Shi left, instantly had gossipy expressions on their faces. This guy is actually Emperor Shi. Didn't Emperor Shi die countless epochs ago? De Huang asked in surprise. It seems that he didn't die at that time, but used some secret technique to hide it from everyone. Tisk tisk, the emperor who controls the power of time is terrible, too terrible. The Emperor Facian said enviously. Although his Facian swordsmanship is also awesome, it is nothing compared to the Emperor of Time. Especially the great avenue of time in the hands of the Emperor of Time, this is a unique taboo, and no emperor is not jealous. Oh, shit, I forgot one thing. The big yellow dog's eyes were full of disappointment. What's wrong, Big Yellow? Nanyi asked curiously. It's a pity that the wives and daughters of the Ye family were sacrificed by the old guy Yetianxiang. It's a pity, it's really a pity. Damn Big Yellow, you have become an emperor, can you change it? Dead dog. A dog can't change its nature. The emperors looked at each other with great disgust, and then silently moved away from Big Yellow, as if to say, we don't know this dead dog. At the same time, I was also worried that this dead dog would set its eyes on me. Being cheated on by a person is not the most terrible thing. The most terrible thing is being cheated on by a dog, and this dog is a great emperor. Just tell me, is it a cowardly thing, is it aggrieved? Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 175. As for the rest of the immortal creatures, their faces were full of doubts. Old man Chang Sheng, come on, it's your turn to perform and explain. I only know that Emperor Shi was a creature of the same era as Emperor Qing, but he died too early. No one expected that he could hide it from all living beings and the way of heaven. The reason why we are called the Time Emperor is because the Time Emperor possesses the time body and controls the forbidden avenue, time. Now it can be explained why Wu Feng's sword stopped time for such an instant. The immortal old man said slowly. His avenue of time, damn, this is too awesome. I remember, there seems to be a little record in the immortal realm's history. Although the Emperor of Time was terrifying, all the creatures gradually calmed down after a while. After all, they had seen Li Bai and the strong winds and waves in the dark valley, so they were somewhat used to it. Even if the Qing Emperor was resurrected, it would not be very difficult. Surprise. By the way, since the Time Emperor can be resurrected, do you think the other mythical emperors will also? who knows, anyway, there have been only a few mythical emperors in the Kangtian immortal realm, and now there is no one left. It's a pity that the Jun family and the Zhang family have produced mythical emperors after all. It's a pity that they died too early and didn't leave any inheritance. On the other side, Jun Wuodao, Zhang Changqin and other talented people breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out that it was not that they were too weak, but that the other party was too strong. It's normal that I can't beat these two. One is the reincarnation of the Emperor of Time, and the other is the God of Curses. It's strange that they can beat them. Thinking of this, all the geniuses feel extremely comfortable in their hearts, and their heads are not moving. It hurts, and my waist is no longer sore. Hey, suddenly I feel like the mountain that was weighing on my heart is gone. Zhang Changqin said excitedly. Yes, even if we cheat, we can't beat these creatures. It seems that we are still very good. It's a pity that I lost two opponents like this, and I haven't even fought yet. I'm a little bit unwilling to do so. Although Jun Wuodao felt calm in his heart, he still felt that he had lost something. Jun Wuodao, do you have any masochistic tendencies? Will you be willing to do it only if these two people defeat you with one move? Or do you think that by obtaining the desolate suppression territory scripture, you will be able to defeat the geniuses of all the worlds? Zhang Changqin said speechlessly. Haha, you don't understand. How can we talk about the road without thorns? It doesn't matter that I don't want someone who can see the whole thing at a glance. As a member of the Jun family, I must inherit the will of my invincible ancestors. Wisps of divine light flashed in Jun Wuodao's eyes. You are really crazy. Otherwise, I will ask Mingyu to see if Shui Yishen will participate in the final battle of the central immortal domain. Let's forget it then. Why are you so unsympathetic? Can't you let the little girl have a good rest? Jun Wuodao scolded him calmly. Zhang Changqin, Omega. After a long time, Zhang Changqin could only say, Jun Wuodao, you don't want billion. After a long time after the Emperor of Time disappeared, the Emperor slowly breathed a sigh of relief. After all, the power that the Emperor of Time exploded at that moment was too terrifying. This is the strength of chaotic creatures. It's so terrifying. When will I, the Dog Emperor, have such strength? De Wang said with great envy. Just be content. If you hadn't met the adults, you would have been dead a long time ago. Even if you hadn't died, you wouldn't have known you were eating shit in that corner. Emperor Cao said disdainfully. You're so humming embarrassed to say that to me. If it weren't for the way I soaked your urine, you would have been eaten long ago. De Wang said angrily. Damn dog, you want to start a war, don't you? Come on, who is afraid of whom? I am the emperor now, do you think I will still be afraid of you? Okay, everyone, now that the matter has been resolved, I have something to tell you. At this time, Xuanhuan human emperor was talking as he created a barrier to isolate the sound from leaking and shield all outsiders. I'm deaf. Wow, the human emperor myth, we also want to hear what you are talking about. Old man emperor, why do you need to isolate the sound? Could it be, hey, is it something shady? De Wang showed a malicious smile and said lewdly. Go away, this next matter cannot be known to any ordinary creature in the immortal realm. If you reject it, it will cause panic in the entire immortal realm. Okay, human emperor, stop being so pretentious and talk about it quickly. The Emperor of Nothingness said impatiently. That is, the outer realm is about to attack the fairy realm. The words of human Emperor Xuanhuan fell into the minds of all the emperors, and they were like a thunderbolt from the blue, leaving all the emperors dumbfounded. What the hell do I rely on? They're floating in the outland, right? Outer territory, attack the immortal territory, old man human emperor, don't lie to the dog. De Wang said with a roar. How could Outland have such courage? Firstly, they defeated 20 great emperors in our immortal territory. Secondly, in the Dark Valley, it's not like they didn't know they were destroyed by us. Do they really dare? Emperor Facian said slowly. My lord told me this. After hearing what Emperor Xuanhuan said, the emperors believed it. After all, when had Li Bai lied to them before? My lord, what else did you say? My lord said that the reason why the foreign domain dared to attack the fairyland was because the ancient clan was secretly supporting it. Not only that, but also the creatures of Yuanxu. Emperor Xuanhuan frowned and stared at the eternal barrier and said slowly. The ancient clan, Yuanxu, this. So that's why they have the courage. After all, Yuanxu was occupied by the foreign domain because the ancient clan helped behind the scenes. To put it bluntly, the foreign domain is just a puppet supported by the ancient clan. Emperor Suwa nodded and said. Then, will the people of the ancient clan take action? A great emperor asked slowly. I don't know. After all, they have restrictions, but no one knows whether these restrictions have loosened. If this is true, it will be an extremely terrible disaster. We should not only be wary of the outside world, but more importantly, the ancient clan and Yuanxu, and the darkness hiding behind. The snipe and the clam fight, and the fisherman reaps the benefits. This is the usual style of darkness. The Void Emperor said worriedly. So, this matter must not be known to the creatures in the fairyland now, otherwise it will cause great panic. The Emperor Xuanhuan said slowly. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 176. Chapter 175 Dark Plan. Then, what do you think, sir? My lord said that after he finishes solving the matter in the Outland Cemetery, he will come back and summon all the immortal emperors to go to the Immortal Palace to discuss it. Outland Cemetery? Wasn't that just now? That's right, it's just a shadow of your master. In addition, this time we are discussing not only the great emperor of the immortal realm, but also a race that you would never expect. Human Emperor Xuanhuan said again. That race. Old man Huang, stop fishing. I'm an ancient dragon and carp, and I'm almost turning into a cocky mouth. Celestial Clan. When Human Emperor Xuanhuan said these two words, he was extremely cautious and looked at the sky of the immortal realm. The Celestial Clan is the race that was born together with the immortal realm. It is not controlled by any living being, even the Deo of heaven. The Celestial Clan. How is it possible? They have not appeared for several epochs. They will never appear until the immortal realm is destroyed. Besides, there are adults this time. My lord, I told you that they will definitely appear. Human Emperor Xuanhuan said slowly. If you think about it carefully, it's normal. After all, it was their ancient clan who took action first. Okay, everyone, I'm going to notify all the great emperors of the immortal, demonic, godly, and demon clan to make preparations. Each of you will inform your own family and affiliated forces. In addition, on the human side, I'm going to trouble Old Man Original Sin. The Emperor of Nothingness then said hurriedly, regardless of whether the Celestial Clan would appear or not. No trouble, at least we can be considered a member of the immortal realm now. Me too. Me too. Everyone, see you in the Immortal Palace in half a month. Yes. After saying that, the emperors disappeared into the deep space universe together. At this moment, in the small world, the three Tiandeo people who eavesdropped on this matter were filled with shock. True or false? What the pervert said cannot be false. Then why didn't he tell us, so that we could at least be prepared? So what if I tell you, can you show up and fight? The girl of destiny said contemptuously. Ah, this. The son of karma scratched his plump cheek and said. That's okay, we just need to try our best to protect the mainland of fairyland. By the way, they just said, Celestial Clan, what's going on? Tiandeo asked doubtfully. In her memory, she had only heard this name, but she had no specific memory. The Celestial Clan is the force left by your ancestors. They have only one mission, and that is to protect the immortal realm. They can kill any living being, even us. The girl of destiny said slowly. It's so lucky. Actually, we don't need to worry, isn't there Li Bai? The son of karma said happily. Li Bai doesn't care about anything, isn't it a shame for me, the heavenly Deo? Is he the way of heaven, or am I? Tiandeo said unhappily. Then go out and fight. Ahem, let's forget it and leave it to the big pervert. On the other side, in the endless darkness, old men are recuperating, and a steady stream of dark power continues to burst out from them. I just got the news that the outer realm is going to attack the immortal realm. An old man said slowly. Outland? Are you sure? Didn't they just lose 20 great emperors, and now they dare to touch the fairyland? Of course it's impossible, but the real mastermind behind it is a creature from the ancient tribe. The ancient tribe, that annoying origin race. I still have fresh memories of that crusade against the ancient tribe. An old man said with great disgust, the disgust on his face was no worse than when he mentioned Li Bai. But, it may be a good opportunity for us. First of all, we can create a little trouble for Li Bai. Secondly, the key must not be obtained by the ancient tribe. Otherwise, it will be a comparison for us big trouble. A dark old man said slowly. Key, are you talking about the absolute beginning key? That's right. Ha ha ha, don't worry. If Li Bai really wants to open the land of Teishu, just one key is not enough. There are 9 Teishu keys in total, and we have 3 in our hands. Don't worry about this. A dark old man said with a smile. Are you stupid because of your cultivation? Have you forgotten that time when Li Bai took away all our keys? An old man said angrily. Oh shit, I forgot. No, if this is really the case, wouldn't it be that the key in Li Bai's hand is almost gone? Damn it, it's all our fault for being ignorant at the beginning. We thought those 3 keys were useless, so we took them as a condition of the deal. Later we found out that these are the keys to the land of Teishu. This Li Bai is so bad. Okay, this time, we have to intervene, for no other reason than to let the ancient clan open their shackles. But we can't really show up, don't forget, the seal of the place of origin has been loosened, and those originators are eager to kill us. An old man said worriedly. This has nothing to do with us. It was our ancestors who did it, not us. You are such a humming genius. Say this to those creatures and see if they agree. Haha, who said that we should come forward? It seems that it is time to go find that person. Which person? Li Bai's evil thoughts. Hey, I almost forgot about this. This evil thought alone is enough for Li Bai to drink a pot. Although it can't kill Li Bai, it can definitely cause him considerable trouble. I'm already looking forward to Li Bai's expression when he sees his evil thoughts. It will definitely be exciting. At this moment, somewhere at the junction of the land of darkness and the heavens and realms, a region of chaos and nothingness. There is no vitality in the world here. Void fragments are constantly passing by. If you don't pay attention, you may fall. Not only that, this strange place is full of strong hatred. Damn, how much does this evil thought hate Li Bai? This hatred is bigger than us. A dark old man couldn't help but be shocked after feeling this breath of hatred. He could feel the unparalleled hatred that was trying to erode everything about him. Actually, it feels understandable. After all, Li Bai's evil thoughts and his true form cannot sense each other's existence, location, etc. Moreover, what every great emperor wants in the end is to replace himself. As for Li Bai's evil thoughts, he has no interest in conquering all the worlds. He is only interested in killing Li Bai. Secondly, no one has ever set foot in this place except us. Over time, this place will produce such an eternal atmosphere of hatred. If an ordinary emperor sets foot here, he will probably directly suppress these hatred emotions and transform into a machine that only knows killing. The other one, the dark old man, said slowly, if it weren't for this action, to be honest, he wouldn't want to come here at all and see Li Bai's evil thoughts. Evil thought, in addition to inheriting Li Bai's time period, all the strength and moves are a bit more moody than Li Bai's. Hey, tell me, can this place be used by us? Haha, don't think about it, except that evil thoughts can control those machines that turn into killing machines, there is nothing we can do. The dark old man shook his head and said, yeah, that's really a pity. Just as the two dark old men were walking forward, a figure appeared in front of them, blocking their way. His face and clothes were exactly the same as Li Bai's. The only difference was probably those eyes. There is no color, only the fire of hatred that burns all worlds. This person was transformed by Li Bai's evil thoughts, and his purpose was to kill Li Bai and replace him. Darkness. What are you doing here? I'm afraid we're not very familiar with each other, right? Li Bai stared at the two dark old men with evil thoughts and said slowly, he is the same as Li Bai when it comes to darkness, although he is not that disgusted, but it is not much better. Li Bai's evil thoughts, we haven't seen each other for a long time. A dark old man said calmly. Huh? Looking for death. As soon as he heard these words, Li Bai's evil thoughts immediately became angry. He hated people calling him the most. Li Bai's evil thoughts, in his opinion, he and Li Bai were completely different beings. Boom. Incomparably terrifying moves burst out. For life forms of their level, every move can destroy the power of an immortal realm. No words can describe this terrifying power. Only when you see it with your own eyes can you know how terrifying it is. In the blink of an eye, the three of them fought countless times. Haha, you always think that you and Li Bai are two different entities, but after all, you were created by him. Although you are not subject to cause and effect, there is cause and effect between you two. The dark old man said slowly. None of your business. Stop, we are here not to fight with you, but to tell you a message. Put it away quickly, I have nothing to say to you. After Li Bai stopped his evil thoughts, he said with disgust, after all, he was transformed by Li Bai's obsession, and he also inherited some of Li Bai's characters, one of which was his aversion to darkness. Haha, I haven't seen you for countless epochs, but you are still as bad-tempered as ever. According to logic, you and we both have a common enemy, which is Li Bai. Why bother to fight? Besides, you can't kill us. The dark old man said with a smile. So what? I am confident that I can kill Li Bai alone, and I can also kill you. Why do I need your dark help? Evil Thought said disdainfully. We are here just to tell you a piece of news. This news is very important to you. If you don't want to hear it, we will leave. After saying that, the two dark old men made a move to leave this area. Wait. After Li Bai heard this, he immediately said. Figured out. Oh, I know your dark nature very well, let's talk about it first. Li Bai, wake up. A hint of cunning flashed in the dark old man's eyes. After hearing this sentence, Evil Thought's eyes trembled obviously, and then he said coldly. Why should I believe you? Haha, the Dark Valley in the immortal realm has been destroyed by him. Basically everyone in the world knows about this matter. There is no need for us to lie to you. Besides, there is no benefit to us lying to you. We are friends, not enemies. The dark old man said slowly. Okay, in that case, do you know where he is? Evil thought asked slowly. We don't know this now. Haha, so to me, this clue of yours is as useless as useless. Don't worry, although we don't know, he will appear soon, and he must appear. The dark old man said slowly. How do I say this? The outer realm is about to attack the fairy realm. Impossible, Outland doesn't have the guts, and that's on the premise of knowing that Li Bai is awake. Evil thought said with disdain. He didn't know what kind of creatures those creatures in the outer realm were. They were all greedy for life and fearful of death to the extreme. Of course we don't have the guts in the outer realm. The creatures behind everything are the ancient clan. As an evil thought, you should know the hatred between Li Bai and the ancient clan, so there is no need for us to be secretive. Besides, the ancient clan has a condition that they must take action, and that is the key to the land of Teishu. Now, it is very likely that Li Bai has gathered it. The dark old man said lightly to evil thoughts that he firmly believed in evil thoughts and would not miss this opportunity. Sure enough, after hearing the news, evil thought was obviously silent for a while. After a long time. Almost, in a month. Place. Eternal barrier. What are the conditions? Evil thought asked slowly. He didn't believe that darkness would be so kind and tell him all this for free. In fact, most of the reasons can be guessed by evil thoughts. They are just to stand with Li Bai so that they can reap the benefits. However, he couldn't resist this kind of temptation. Although he was very unhappy about being used as a pawn, he had waited for countless epochs. Every time he was about to take action before, Li Bai fell into a deep sleep. He repeated this 8 times. He's had enough. Of course, if this time, he really replaces Li Bai and is used as a pawn by the darkness, he will take back this debt. It's very simple. All you need is the key in Li Bai's hand. I'm very curious. Aren't you afraid that I will go back on my word? You know, there is no contract at all in this deal. Aren't you afraid that I will swallow these keys? Evil thought said doubtfully. First of all, we know that you will never let go of this opportunity. Secondly, even if you get it, will you give it to the ancient tribe? Of course, no, I'm not a fool. Can I give them the key to unlock the shackles? Evil thought said with a frown. That's all right, you know our motive very well. We asked you to contain Li Bai. As long as the key is not in the hands of the ancient tribe, we don't care. We can't get into that place anyway. For you, there are only benefits, right? The dark old man did not hide it. He believed that evil thoughts would be able to distinguish the pros and cons. In this case, I promise you, if it succeeds in the end, the key will be given to you. Evil thought then said lightly, it was indeed as darkness said, this deal would do him no harm, there was no reason to refuse, the worst would be death. However, if he wins, then he can truly replace Li Bai. Give it a try and turn your bicycle into a motorcycle. Ha ha ha, in that case, happy cooperation. After saying that, the 2 dark old men hurriedly left the place, and they had to prepare quickly. After the dark old man left, evil thought stared at everything around him and said slowly. Haha, I wonder if you will be surprised when we meet. After all, I know that that woman is your only weakness. If it weren't for that woman, I wouldn't have been born. Speaking of which, I have to thank her. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 177. On the other side, in the Xuanhuan family, after a few days of recuperation, Sui has gradually regained consciousness. At this moment, she feels as comfortable as ever before. Sui, you finally woke up, you scared me to death. Sui, you're awake. Do you feel any discomfort? Xuanhuan Minjiao and Luo Miao Miao asked hurriedly after seeing Shui wake up. Sister Minjiao, Miao Miao, I am. Shui patted his forehead and said. Don't you remember, Sui? Well, a bit. It's okay, you just fainted that day. Yes, that's right. Well, I remember that at that time, the Ye family was about to be wiped out. It seemed that De Wang and senior sister Nanyi also appeared. Shui murmured to himself. At this moment, Nanyi's figure slowly came to Shui. Sister Nanyi. Sister Nanyi. Xianyuan Minjiao and Luo Miao Miao said in surprise. I'll do it, you guys go out first. Good. Immediately, Nanyi walked up to Shui and asked with concern. Little junior sister, how are you? Senior sister Nanyi, why are you here? Shui asked in surprise. Come here and see you. I'm fine, don't worry. Sui, you, remember what happened that day, right? A glimmer of light flashed in Nanyi's eyes and he asked slowly. After hearing this, Shui was silent for a long time, and the scenes that happened yesterday appeared in his mind unconsciously, and the memory was still fresh. Wu, Nanyi, sister, what should I do? That's not me, right? I am Shui, not some so-called cursed god, right? Suddenly, Shui hugged Nanyi's arm and said tremblingly, like a frightened kitten. Good boy, it's okay. You are Sui. The little girl in the lower world is not the so-called cursed god. Nanyi said comfortingly. But, master, will you hate me from now on? After all, I once launched an attack on the immortal realm. Don't worry, it won't happen. Master Sui is so cute, he won't hate you, let alone you. Nanyi interrupted Shui's words. Really? Of course, do you still have that kind of hostility towards Master in your heart now? Nanyi asked slowly. It seems, not anymore. That's all right, don't think too much, you will always be my cute little junior sister. Nanyi touched Shui's hair and said softly. After a long time, Shui fell asleep deeply in Nanyi's arms. Ever since the curse god separated Shui's soul, Shui has always fallen into a state of lethargy. On the other side, the outland cemetery. At this moment, Li Bai was standing in Yinju's starry sky store, with a gloomy look on his face. The power he exuded made Yinju and the others tremble. I don't know which bastard without eyes had angered this ancestor. After a long time, Li Bai sighed softly and murmured to himself. Hey, it's me who's sorry for you after all. But, I have no choice but to do so. I hope you don't hate me. Immediately, Li Bai regained his calm expression, put away the terrifying aura around him, and said slowly to Yinju and others. How's it going? Is there any news? Sir, yes, the Yin clan and the auction house in the outer domain have just released the news. There is indeed a man named Xingfeng among them, but we don't know if he is the one you are looking for. Yinju said hurriedly, not daring to show any slightness. At the same time, he was extremely grateful for the decision he made at that time. Because, during this period of time, Li Bai massacred 3 lords of the Starry Sky stronghold, and one of them had reached immortality. Then let's go. Yes, sir. Immediately, Yinju and others took Li Bai to the auction house. At this moment, on a dead, deserted star, stands an extremely majestic attic. This attic was specially built by the Yin tribe for this auction. Immediately, countless spaceships docked here, and they all came to participate in the auction. I heard that during this period, the Yin clan and the outer domain jointly plundered a lot of wealth. I heard that among the slaves this time, there is a person from the fairyland. Haha, what's the point? The most important thing is that this person from the immortal realm is still a great emperor, but his soul has been destroyed by the Yin lord of the Yin tribe, and his strength is greatly reduced. Tisk, tisk, these are not important. What is important is those beauties. He, I heard that there is a race in the outer land where 3 female quasi-emperors were exiled. They seem to be called the Kinkayu clan. They are some naughty foxes anyway. Don't think about it, we won't be able to bear it anyway. 2. At this moment, Yanju's spaceship slowly descended here, and Yanju and Li Bai slowly appeared in front of all living beings. Look, it's Star-Lord Yanju's spaceship. A Yin tribe creature said slowly. Hey, who is that next to Lord Yanju? He's so handsome. Little fresh meat, sister, I like it best. No, look at it, Master Yanju seems to be bowing down to that young master. How is it possible? Lord Yanju is an emperor. Could this young man be a young master of the Yin clan? Young master? I remember that the descendants of the 3 Yin masters are all very ugly, right? SHH, shut up, you want to die, right? Sir, let's go in. Yanju whispered in Li Bai's ear. At this moment, the luxury of the decoration in the auction house is no worse than that of the Fairyland auction house, and even more eye-catching. Soon, the auction house was overcrowded and full of discussions. Afterwards, a woman with revealing clothes and an extremely hot body slowly appeared in front of everyone, and her face made countless male creatures eager to move. This Yin Mei is still as coquettish as ever, I am so greedy. Give up, I am the maid of Master Yin Feng, I have the heart to steal, but you have the guts to steal. Tisk tisk, it's a pity for such a woman, this Yin Feng is not only ugly, but I heard that her sex life is very short. Who let me have a father, Master Yin, who is the only legend among the 3 masters of Yin. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 178. Afterwards, Yin Mei smiled charmingly at everyone in the audience, stepped forward, and walked slowly to the center of the auction table. She was charming every step of the way, and because her clothes were extremely sparse, she could even see a little bit of spring. Yin Mei spoke slowly, her tone of voice was so exciting, and coupled with that face that looked like rippling blue waves, I wonder which man could hold it. To put it simply, it was very sexy. Some women are coquettish at their core, but Yin Mei means that their coquettishness is exposed, without any cover-up. Welcome everyone to today's auction. I hope that every adult can take a photo of something you love. Yin Mei thanks you all again. Yin Mei bowed slowly to everyone, and the spring scenery was unobstructed. Some creatures with sharp eyes could even see the bright spots. At this moment, a big man with no concealed lust in his eyes said to Yin Mei, Miss Yin Mei, I don't know what conditions are required to buy you a night of love. Ha 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 ha, if it's cheap, we want it too. We are the same. This distinguished guest is joking, but charisma is not up for auction. You naughty bastard, pretending. However, before the big man could finish speaking, the next moment, the whole body of the big man turned into flesh and blood. You dare to covet my master's people, you are seeking death. A cold voice came from a box. Yes, young Master Yinfen. No, this is a quasi-emperor. If you say no, it will be gone. I almost fell into the same trap. Yin Mei, keep going. Yinfeng said slowly. Okay, young master. Everyone, our auction has officially begun. However, following the lesson learned from the big man before, many men at this moment did not dare to take another look at Yin Mei. I'm afraid that if I take a few more glances, my life will be lost. Subsequently, pieces of auction items were continuously put on the shelves. Most of them were indeed rare treasures, making countless creatures greedy. The currency used in the auction here is called Yin crystal, which is the crystal formed by the accumulation of countless corpses. The stone contains the majestic yin qi that the yin tribe needs for their cultivation. Although fairy crystal and outland currencies can also be used, they will only be discounted a lot. Sir, we are not auctioning it. Don't worry, I have enough money, little one. At this moment, in Li Bai's private room, Yinju looked like a little boy serving tea and water. If you have something you like, you can naturally auction it. As for me, I don't like this garbage. Li Bai said lightly. Ah, that's okay. Yinju also felt that he had asked too many questions. This ancestor had never seen anything. These things might be like treasures in their eyes, but in Li Bai's eyes they were no different than feces. Immediately, the auction was still in full swing, and soon it was time for the slave auction that countless creatures were most looking forward to. Hey, distinguished guests, next is your favorite part. Without further ado, let's go straight to the first auction item. Immediately, an iron cage made of unknown divine gold slowly appeared in front of everyone. Inside was a young woman bound by countless divine chains. She looked pitiful, with a bit of cinnabar on her eyebrows, ragged clothes, and a waist as thin as a willow. The most peculiar thing about Fu Feng is that she is a woman, with a pair of fox ears and 6 furry tails behind her. After seeing this, countless male creatures let out deep roars from their throats, and their eyes glowed red, like wild beasts in heat. Who doesn't like the beast-eared girl? Hakamai, Hakamai. In addition to the outland cemetery, there are very few women in this place, and there is no shortage of good creatures with dragon yang. In the eyes of most creatures, as long as they are female, they only need a hole. I believe you have heard about it. Yes, this is the little princess of the Kinkaiu clan in the outer world, Kinkaiu Susu. At this moment, Kinkaiu Susu's eyes were full of fear, and tears kept trembling in her eyes. Although she was a quasi-emperor, her cultivation was sealed with a layer of shackles, and she was like a caged bird for everyone to watch. Dad, Mom, Sister, Susu misses you so much, but I can't die. Kinkaiu Susu said in despair, as if she had already met a tragic fate in the future. Yin Mei, Miss, I have a question. Please say. Since this is a quasi-emperor, even if we take the photo, how can we ensure our own safety? After all, most of the people present are only in the realm of God Kings. Haha, don't worry about this. After taking the photo, we will naturally tell the buyer how to control it. It is absolutely safe and can never be broken free. Said with a sinister smile. Then what are you waiting for? Tell us the conditions quickly. Okay, this auction is an exchange of things. You can report your own treasures, and we will make a decision. Boom. As soon as she finished speaking her sinister words, some creatures impatiently took out the bottom of their press boxes, hoping to get this fox. After all, she was a quasi-emperor, a beauty, and could fight and fight. Well, it's so exciting for these god kings. Immediately, several quasi-emperors from outside the realm were judging the value of each treasure one by one to see if it could meet their expectations. No, it's too rubbish. What the hell? Garbage, garbage, it's all garbage. At this moment, Yin Feng in the private room looked at Kinkaiu Susu and said coldly. Haha, what a beautiful girl, this young master loves this kind the most. Yin Mei, reserve this Kinkaiu Susu for this young master. Yin Feng said to Yin Mei in his mind. Young master, I'm afraid this won't work. Why, my father is a myth, who dares to say no? Yin Feng said viciously after hearing this. Young master, these 3 Kinkaiu foxes were found in the outer domain. You know the strength there, and... Yin Mei was obviously silent when she said this. Speak. Moreover, the myth emperor of the outer domain has personally said that they must use what they need to exchange, even the 3 yin masters are useless. Damn it! Bang! Hearing this, Yin Feng smashed the table in front of him with a palm. Okay, In that case, then this young master will follow the rules once. Yinfeng said slowly, compared to treasures, no one is richer than him, after all, he has a myth father. Then, Yinfeng said slowly. Young master Yinfeng, I am willing to give you 4 Forbidden Avenue origins, plus a plant of ancient dragon and phoenix grass. It's young master Yinfeng's voice. Is he interested in this fox? Nonsense, don't you forget what kind of person Yinfeng is. Luxury, too damn extravagant. 4 Forbidden Avenue origins, plus a plant of ancient dragon and phoenix grass. What can't be exchanged for this? It's a bit of a loss to exchange it for a Kinkai fox. Especially the ancient dragon and phoenix grass. It is rumored that the fairyland was in the chaotic era. An ancient dragon ancestor and the blood spilled by an ancient phoenix during a battle was nourished for hundreds of millions of years. There are only 9 of them in the entire fairyland. It sounds so awesome. Of course, it is said that as long as any creature eats it, it has the opportunity to awaken a strand of the blood of the ancient dragon clan or the ancient phoenix clan, and it is the supreme bloodline. No way, who let them have a good father? At this moment, several quasi-emperors from the outside world looked at each other. Indeed, the conditions offered by Yinfen were too generous, even they were extremely shocked. However, their ancestors stipulated that only a few specific things could be exchanged, and most of these things were products of the fairyland. Young Master Yinfen, forgive me for being so nosy, your offer is indeed very generous. To exaggerate, you can even exchange 3 Kinkai foxes. But, our ancestors stipulated that only a few specific items can be exchanged. I'm so sorry. An Outland Quasi-Emperor said guiltily, to be honest, they were very tempted. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 179. When Yinfen heard these words, he thought that the other party did not meet these conditions, and his expression changed instantly. What do you mean? Do you think that my young master's conditions are not generous enough? With these conditions, a quasi-emperor level Kinkai fox would be more than enough. Do you want the lion to open its mouth? At this moment, Yinfeng's tone was full of murderous intent. Young Master Yinfen is joking, how dare we open our mouths? We are all following the instructions of our mythical emperor. Please don't embarrass us, young Master Yinfen. A quasi-emperor from the outer realm said lightly, if it weren't for this loser having a mythical father, how could he be so humble? Humph, if you don't give me a clear explanation today, you will just sleep on the spot. You also know my temper. If you don't want to die, give me a reason to live. There was no hidden threat in Yinfeng's words. It would be easy to make several quasi-emperors fall. Hey, is this too damn arrogant? Are you blatantly threatening the 4 quasi-emperors? SHHH, keep your voice down, Yinfen has killed many quasi-emperors. Don't forget, he has 2 great emperors personally trained by the first Yin master. I'm so envious of me. It's just different to have a father who is a mythical emperor. There is no way, first Yin Lord, this is his son, no matter how useless he is, he must be pampered. All the living beings whispered among themselves, lamenting Yinfeng's moodiness and murderous nature. You. Forget it, tell me, there is no other way. The mythical emperor is too terrible. If he really kills us, our ancestors won't say anything. After all, the Yin tribe is a local snake. Damn, this waste, ugh. Several quasi-emperors secretly scorned that this Yinfen could do nothing but rely on his father's authority. Since young Master Yinfen has said so, let's just tell the truth. Our ancestors said that if you want to replace these Kinkai foxes, you must have the following things. A fragment of the eternal barrier of the immortal realm. Fairy realm. Immediately, the Quasi-Emperor mentioned several exchange conditions, most of which were things from the immortal realm. Hey, what are these things? I know two of them. What are the others and what are they for? Especially the fragments of this eternal barrier, they are so useful, who will collect them? Immediately, a Quasi-Emperor said to Yin Feng. I wonder if young Master Yin Feng has the things we are talking about. If so, we can trade them immediately. After a long time, I heard a cold snort from the dark wind. It seemed that even he didn't have these things. Snort. There are some things that I have never heard of before. Could it be that you made them up on the spot? Young Master Yinfen, we can guarantee this with our lives, you don't have to worry. Forget it, I don't want this King Kaiu fox anymore. At this moment, in the Yinju box. What are these things? I've never heard of them. What do they need these things for? If it doesn't work, ask Dad, he should know. Yinju said doubtfully. But Li Bai understood it immediately. I didn't expect that they would place their hopes on the cemetery in the outer world. Haha, it's interesting. The fragments of the eternal barrier are something that only existed in the era of chaos. Li Bai said slowly in his heart. Although I don't want to get involved in this matter, the King Kaiu clan is considered destined to me. Besides, it wouldn't be bad to get a few foxes to keep little Sui company. Immediately, Li Bai took out a crystal fragment with a strange luster and threw it to Yinju. Sir, what is this? Yinju stared at the fragments in his hand and said doubtfully. He is a great emperor, but he has no clue. The key is that this fragment does not have any spiritual power, and the mana fluctuates, just like the most ordinary protective shield fragment. If you insist on saying it is different, it just has a different luster. This is what they need, to get that King Kaiu fox back. Li Bai said lightly. Could it be that these are the fragments of the eternal barrier? Damn it, there really is one. Immediately, Yinju realized that he had lost his composure. Sir, I'll change it right away. Just when the emperors were feeling disappointed, Yinju slowly appeared in front of them. Emperor Yinju. What's the matter with you? Several quasi-emperors said in confusion. Look at this thing. Is it the fragment of the eternal barrier you need? Yinju took out the fragments and said slowly. Emperor Yinju, you didn't lie to us. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Come on, stop nagging and see if it's true. Wait a minute, Emperor Yinju, we don't know what the fragments of the eternal barrier look like. We need to ask about this. Then hurry up. Immediately, a quasi-emperor transmitted the image of this fragment to the mind of a certain creature. Ancestor, take a look, is this what you need? After a long time, an extremely ancient and vicissitudes of voice came through the illusion, and the tone was full of excitement. Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect that such a small place actually exists. What a blind cat and a dead mouse. Who took it out? Hui, ancestor, he is the Yinju emperor of the Yin tribe. Oh, I didn't expect that a small emperor could reach such a thing. Ancestor, is this thing very precious? I just observed it and it feels very ordinary. Of course it's ordinary for you, but in some places, it's not ordinary. Stop talking nonsense and change it quickly to avoid long nights of dreams and accidents. Yes, ancestor. After the communication, the quasi-emperor's eyes flashed with a solemn look. He didn't expect that what their ancestors had been looking for countless hours would be in the hands of a great emperor. You know, even the 3 Yin lords don't have it. Emperor Yinju, the confirmation is complete. This fragment, is indeed a fragment of the eternal barrier. Boom. The scene erupted with deafening sounds of doubt. Damn it, this inconspicuous fragment is really that, a fragment of the eternal barrier. It feels like a very ordinary fragment, except it's a little pretty. Do you understand what the eternal barrier is? It is the most important barrier in the immortal realm to resist invasion. If it is broken, the consequences can be imagined. You are humming crazy, can we not know? You think you are smart, right? That's obvious to you. At this moment, Yin Feng's eyes were full of doubts. He had just asked his father that even he, a mythical emperor, did not have the fragment of the eternal barrier. How did an ordinary emperor obtain this fragment? Immediately, Yin Feng asked Yinju. Yinju, where did you get this fragment? After hearing this, Yinju said calmly. Young Master Yinfen, I got it accidentally. Haha, if that's the case, why don't you turn it in? Don't you know the rules? Yinfen's words were full of questions. What do you mean? Anger flashed in Yinju's eyes. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. Since you are the leader of the 10 strongholds of our Yin tribe, this piece of debris will naturally be handed over to me. What do you think? Yin Feng's words were full of disdain. No matter how awesome the emperor of their Yin tribe was, he had to obey him, unless he wanted to die. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 180. Young Master Yinfen, are you trying to snatch the fragments from this emperor's hands? Yinju said jokingly, if he had listened before, he would have listened, but now, he has rebelled, so who cares about Yin Feng? You can think of it this way. I am the young master of the Yin tribe. Shouldn't the things you collect belong to me? Or you can give that King Kaiu fox to me, young master. I can let this matter go. Yin Feng said nonchalantly, here he is the Earth Emperor, except for the mythical emperor in the outer realm, he is not afraid of any living being. I have a mythical father who is awesome, what can he do to me? Oh, what if, I say no? Yinju said gloomily. Haha, don't blame me for being rude, he's just a great emperor. Even if he dies, it's no big deal. Yinju's face was filled with a stern look. He believed that Yinju was a smart person and would make the right choice. However, Yinju ignored it and handed the fragments to several quasi-emperors and said. This King Kaiu fox belongs to me, right? Certainly. Immediately, Yinju waved his hand, and King Kaiu appeared in his box. At this moment, King Kaiu Susu still had a look of confusion and fear on her face. However, after seeing Li Bai in front of her, she immediately covered her mouth and said. Wow, so handsome. King Kaiu Susu's eyes are full of little stars, this is the charm of the protagonist, awesome. And Li Bai waved his hand and directly unlocked King Kaiu Susu's chains. Sir, did you take the photo of Susu? That's right. Then, I will be young masters from now on. King Kaiu Susu said with a blushing face. She felt that it was not a bad thing to fall into the hands of such a handsome man. Besides, the man in white in front of her exuded a charm that made her extremely obsessed. Are you from the King Kaiu clan in the outer territory? Li Bai asked lightly. Yes, sir, I am the youngest princess of the King Kaiu clan, my name is King Kaiu Susu. Why do you appear in a place like this? I remember that your King Kaiu clan, as an imperial clan, doesn't it have several immortal emperors? After hearing this, King Kaiu Susu's eyes were filled with sadness. We, the King Kaiu clan, were exiled by the mythical emperor of our foreign lands. However, we don't know the reason. I don't know if my grandparents are still alive. Are you alone in exile? No, there are 2 sisters of mine who are also in this auction. Master, can you save them? I will give everything. King Kaiu Susu begged and said. Oh, you're not afraid that I'm a bad person too? Don't be afraid, I feel like you are a good person, sir, a very, very good person. King Kaiu Susu said firmly. Ding, a good guy card. Hearing this, Li Bai smiled. For such a simple girl, this was the first time someone praised him as a good person, which made him feel a little weird. If the curse god heard this, I don't know what he would think. Don't worry, after all, I have a fate with your Kinkaiu clan, and I won't let it go. Sir, you are destined to our Kinkaiu clan, how can you tell me this? Kinkaiu Susu asked doubtfully. Do you know Kinkaiu Yan? Li Bai said lightly. Kinkaiu Yan, isn't that the oldest ancestor of our Kinkaiu clan? She has fallen for countless years. Kinkaiu Susu said in shock, is it possible that the young master in front of her knew their ancestor? How is this possible? This young master looks extremely young, how could he be that kind of old monster? Kinkaiu Yan, I gave her the name. At that time, she was still a little fox being chased by chaotic creatures. Later, I rescued her. After following me for a while, she gradually opened up her spiritual intelligence and finally became a nine-tailed Tiangu. That's right, the number one chaotic alien species. Li Bai recalled the past and said lightly. How can this be? Kinkaiu Susu covered her ruddy little mouth in disbelief, with a look in her eyes that seemed to say, I'm still young, don't lie to me. Sir, you didn't lie to me. Don't think I'm young. I'm a vixen and I'm smart. As Kinkaiu Susu spoke, her pair of furry fox ears kept twitching. Seeing this scene, Li Bai's big hand couldn't help but touch it, mainly because it felt really comfortable. Kinkaiu Susu gasped, and his face instantly turned red. By the way, I haven't seen your tails yet. As he said that, Li Bai pulled Kinkaiu Susu, exposed her behind, and slowly touched the furry tail. In an instant, 6 slightly pink tails came out, which were so bright and colorful that people couldn't put them down. And Kinkaiu Susu's face is getting more and more rosy, like a peach in 3 springs, and her breath is like orchid. At this moment, Kinkaiu Susu feels that she has fallen into some kind of blissful state, commonly known as. Sir, stop touching other people's tails. That's not allowed. Kinkaiu Susu said extremely shyly. Ahem, sorry, I forgot your Kinkaiu fox's tail, don't touch it. After Li Bai reacted, he let go of his big hand and said slowly. As for Kinkaiu Susu, after she felt those hands full of magic leave, she suddenly felt extremely lost in her heart. Almost, just a little bit. Then, after calming down, she said to Li Bai. Young master, if this is true, then you have lived for countless epochs. You can say that, but I don't know how long I have lived anyway. At this moment, Kinkaiu Susu's mind flashed with what her grandmother said to her when she was still young. Susu, if you can meet that adult in the future, you must stay with him. This is a great opportunity. Ah, Grandma, which one are you talking about? He, you will know when you meet him in the future. He is the benefactor of our Kinkaiu clan. If it weren't for him, there would be no Kinkaiu clan. Even our names were given by adults. Then how can Susu meet him? Well, it's hard to say. At that time, the ancestor only told me that the adult traveled through the heavens and the worlds, and it is possible to meet him anywhere. Yes, Grandma, Susu remembered it. Could it be that the grandma is talking about this young master? This is too coincidental. Kinkaiu Susu was extremely shocked.